so let's
Keep an eye
call
out for.
it to order at 1:05.
Okay.
Meeting of the Bylaw Review Advisory Committee. And I don't see any public there for public comment. Okay, hearing none, we'll go to the next item, which is the approval of the minutes of March 12th and October 19th. So I know that Lucy was at our March meeting, and I assumed that she took the minutes, but again, she wasn't able to access them. And then October 19th was a meeting that just the three of us, and I'm trying to remember who took notes at that meeting.
Oops.
Because we don't have any. I mean, I can go back and look at the agenda and kind of put something together.
Yeah, we can.
And from that, I'll do that.
Yeah,
and
we can get it. Yeah.
Okay, and then we need someone, since Lucy isn't here yet, someone for today. Is there?
I'll do it. I'm in note-taking mode these days.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so with that, we're going to table the minutes of March 12th and October 19th until our next meeting, when we can, gather all of our resources, and then we'll vote on them at that time.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so let me see how good I am at sharing documents here. I thought we would start with, and I sent everything to you that we're going to be sharing, we'll be looking at today, to start with Chris's chart.
Okay. I couldn't open that, so
Really?
that was one I couldn't open. But that's okay.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Anyway, thank you, Chris, because this is really, a guiding tool here for us.
Yeah.
Looking at making sure that we all agree on what is completed, and we have things in different phases. What we've completed, what the select board has approved, what the town meeting has approved, and what is sitting with our lawyers. I think we're up to date on what's been submitted to the AG, but I'm pretty certain of that.
Yeah, just at the very bottom, Francine, because I think I did this in October, right after the town meeting.
Yes.
Special town meeting. So the wetlands bylaw at the very bottom there somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had that approved and then sent to the AG, and since then we do have it back. And it was a January date, but I didn't update it. I figured I'd wait.
Okay, so that's approved. So if you don't, so this looks pretty current then.
I believe so. And so what we have are still some of the ones in green that are still with the GC, I believe, and we don't have any. We're still with our lawyers, and we don't have any feedback on them to present for the next town meeting. Yeah, exactly.
So so we can't put those on. Let me just grab my folder here.
Yep.
I've got so many of them. Okay. Because the last notice that I have that Lucy gave us was dated May 2020, when Articles 20, 21, 22, and 23 were approved. And that made it to the chart, right?
Well, scroll down. Oh, but those are the articles on the warrant. That's not the number of the bylaw.
Okay,
though.
I'm sorry. That's the warrant. That's
I was going to say, I don't know about that.
No. Okay, you're right.
Yeah. So they're back up to the top then, because that would have been reflected. Go back up to the green. Yeah. See the ones on the right, says 522?
Yes. Okay, so you picked all those up. So we're good.
So there's 4 that were done, but in between, the one that has not been reacted to right above that was the one on the select board. That's still with GC.
Right.
Number three.
Right.
Okay.
Then the next one is
8 was, there was something that was in, we had approved it, but at town meeting, but there was wording in it that shouldn't have been there. There was some wording about the demolition bylaw or something was in there. I forget what it was. So it actually needed to be
Deleted.
part of that needed to be
Yeah.
deleted. So we had that resent to the GC to say, yes, it should be deleted. So number,
Okay.
and
We
so
haven't heard on that.
no, and the numbers, just so you're clear here, we added a new number because there wasn't one for town administrator. So I tried to put old number and new number.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I see.
I see, yeah.
So that's
I
why that's
see.
a little bit fuzzy there. But so this would have been, oh boy, now what did I do? I guess the new numbers haven't actually been adopted yet, right? So
Right. Until
so I
we
guess
do
we
this
should-
whole thing in its entirety, you know,
Yeah.
and get everything in order.
we should work on the old numbering system. So technically number 7, then I think. So number
Right.
3 and 7,
Yeah.
and then definitely number 12, overnight parking has been with the lawyers,
Yes.
and that's one that we really could use in this weather.
Yes.
Fire lanes, so we combined those two, 16 and 39, we combined to make a new one, but whatever, that's just for it's probably easier to call them by their name rather than by number at this point.
Yeah.
Fire lanes, council on aging, and sidewalk clearing, another important one for now. Those are all with the AGs, or sorry, with our
With the
local
general council, yeah.
Yeah, so that's 6 of them. And of
And-
those 6, there was really only, I mean, one had that simple thing to get deleted out of there. So there's really only 5 to kind of really review, in my mind. So that
Right,
we,
but then they're sitting on the fee. Well, no, these are being deleted, the next 3.
well, yeah, right. So those, oh yeah, I forgot those, exactly. So those, I think we had sent those too to say, so yeah, they would have to recommend
Right.
to us that we delete, that it's okay to delete those 3, exactly.
Right.
Right,
And
I'm
then-
sorry. So,
And
yeah.
then the last one was community preservation, which they have.
Correct. Okay. Yep.
All right, so we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're looking at 8.
At least.
No, we're looking at 7. 7.
That need to be reviewed, and then others that we want to recommend deletion. Right.
Right, that they have in their possession, those 7, if okay.
But I
And
think
then the 3 to be deleted.
Okay.
Okay, so that's
10.
kind of the inventory so far.
So they have 10 with them, right? At GC 10 at their land, right? So we have number 3, number 7. That's 2. 12. Keep scrolling. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hang on. So 12,
17.
17, 18, 19,
Yep.
23, 25, 27, 28. Yeah, is that 8?
I can live with it. I mean, yeah.
I think it's 8 of them.
And
Community preservation. Yeah.
and 33.
Yeah.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a total of 10.
Okay. But of those, there's 3 that were just recommended to be deleted, and one of them just to have
Right.
a paragraph deleted. So that is not
That's-
major review time as far as
No,
I'm.
that's just 3. So that brings us down to 7. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have 7 in the pipeline.
I mean, even the ones we recommend for deletion, they have to go to special town meeting, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
We can't make any changes that we make, even like an article number has to go to town meeting.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, we've got that group. Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
we all agree that this is the current state of affairs, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So, in my report tonight, I'll do a little summary of this just to bring it. And then I know it's not on the agenda per se, but maybe we can force the conversation here to allocate, as Chris and I have talked, an amount of money to legal, and then what among ourselves and with the select board, then prioritize the one. If we don't have enough money to cover all of these, then which ones of these would we like? Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, again, I'm thinking these three that recommend deletion. I mean, there was next to nothing in them anyway.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine that's going to take up a lot of time. I mean, I'd like them to act on all of this, frankly. And I can tell you that I know our legal counsel charges $190 an hour. So my thought would be if we put in a limit, say, to not exceed $600, that's 3 hours worth. To not exceed $600, do what you can do, and obviously do the ones that we want reviewed first.
Right.
And the deletions at the last resort.
Okay.
We want, overnight parking and fire lanes and sidewalk and council, and there's 4, 5, there's 4 there. There's 6 altogether, I think, to be really reviewed.
Right. Overnight, fire lanes, sidewalk. What about community preservation?
Community preservation and select board as well. So there's 6 to review in their entirety. Okay. So that's why I'm saying, if those take more than a half an hour each, then,
okay,
really. And then there's 1 partial paragraph to delete, and then there's 3 to delete altogether.
Right. Yeah.
So priority would be the 6 to review in their entirety, and then moving down the other 4. But I'm thinking 3 hours of time is plenty enough for them to do those without stretching our budget too badly.
Yeah. Let me look at my phone and see if I heard from Lucy. Nope. Okay, so I guess she's not joining us. All right.
Okay.
So with that will be in tonight's report. And
you're going to report it. Okay.
Yeah, and Chris, chime in. Okay.
Yep.
If you want.
I will. Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else on this that we need?
No, I think that's where we were. Like I say, I just need to make that update on when the wetlands was approved. I mean, the AG had a few comments here and there, but they essentially approved it. They
right.
had. So that's fine. No, and I guess, we just need to move on to, the next ones that we want to get in line. Because I guess I'm thinking that if we could get these approved, who knows what's happening for a special town meeting, but I'm sure we're going to have one at some point in time.
Yeah. So
I don't think that any of these are terribly lengthy or complicated that they would take up a lot of time on a warrant. I know Robert doesn't like to do things in batches, but,
Well, that, yes. Yeah, I know. Especially if we're now, what we heard the last time is because we had to be outdoors.
Yeah.
And it was hot, not to do that. So we have to set up our next set. So let me go through, if we're done with this.
Yep. I think while you're looking for the next one, I think somewhere I believe I heard this, or I read it somewhere. I think Easthampton is planning their special town meeting, and it's going to be a drive-through or something at the parking lot of Hampshire Regional.
Wow.
Or parking your car at Hampshire Regional kind of one. I don't know how they're going to do it, but
like a drive-in movie thing.
Sort of, I think.
If people brought their laptops, they could do, and it's a hot spot, they could do a Zoom right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And everybody can vote by honking their horns or something. I don't know.
No, give everybody a little flag to wave or something.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then the next thing, let me see. I had, in the fall, attended a couple meetings. Let me see here. So let me, where did that one go? Okay, can you see this?
Not yet.
No. Okay. Have a,
Do your green button.
let me go back here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me go to share. And where's my share here? Share screen. Okay, I wanted, I think I just eliminated one.
It may just be hiding behind another screen. Something's coming up. Okay.
Okay.
No, it's gone. Wait, no, I see it down here.
Yeah, you can only share one at a time, though.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna I'll stop sharing this one and see if I can find the other one. Okay, it's there, but it's not on my share screen.
So if you hit your green share screen button at the bottom of your screen, hit share screen.
Yeah,
Green.
it's
And then-
nope. I'm missing 2 documents on here. Shoot. And they're down here. So Chris, how do I pull them up?
Good question. If you click on one of those, does it move it to your screen somewhere? If you click on one of the ones that's hidden down there?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, now try share screen again, the green thing.
It's not showing up. It's being, well, let me just try something else.
You can minimize, okay, if you opened whatever you want to open, then just minimize it again.
It's been opened, yep. Okay, let me hit share screen and go down. Nope, you don't see it, do you?
No, there's two times to share screen. So you do the green one first, then you find your document, and then you share screen again. Once you find your document, on the right-hand side, there's usually a thing that says share screen.
Yeah.
Right where your document is, no?
Let me try again. No. It's covered up. I can't, every time I try to move my, the top around, the screen around. Oh, goodness. All right. One second. Do you have your, you don't. Let me get Janet. 1 second, see if I can pull them up.
Hold on. Let me see if I can try my email, and I'm not sure what she's trying to get here, but I may go away for a minute, but I'll be back, I think.
The first one went up, but then I can't get this one up. Okay. And then the nuisance one I lost altogether.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Technical assistance. Which one do you want?
It's down here.
Okay. Well, you got to get it up here. Okay. So we have the soliciting one
And that one.
and this
And
one.
and then I have to get another one after this.
Okay. So I'm going to close the soliciting one. Okay. For now. Do you need that one later?
Yes. That's the one I want.
All right. Let me see if I can find it on here again. Not this one. Sometimes we got too many windows open
Yep.
for some reason. Okay. Can I go into here for a second? So you need to close some of these. I'm going to close these. Okay, this one I'm closing. This one I'm closing. This one I'm closing. All right. Now I'm going to close this one again. Let's see if we can find it up there. Hi, everybody again. Now I see you.
Hi.
Okay.
You should be able to just pull them up and just
This one.
minimize them.
Is it the green one or no?
Yes, that one. But then I have one that's not on here
Okay,
either,
well,
but
we'll
it's
get
not
it.
here either.
What do you mean it's not here?
It's not down there.
Well, then-
I have one more.
Okay. Well, let's share this one and then you'll have to open
Okay.
the other one. Okay. Nice to see everybody. Hi, Virginia.
Okay. So you can all see this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had attended a ZBA meeting, and got them and to, the only way I could get them to act on is if I showed up at the, well, excuse me, if I was at the meeting, and they don't meet very often. So they made some very good changes, I thought. We struggled with all the distance and all this other stuff from the road, so they simplified it for us by saying, buildings must display addresses, that's all. No distance. Okay, so regardless of your distance, the numbers have to be 6 inches high and no more with the 4 or the 6.
Okay.
And then we talked about the houses that were more than 80 feet from the roadway. They also had to, and then the conditions that we put down there of, where it has to be, where the sign has to be, what are the size requirements, and then the size also of the house number. And then the other change again was consistent, just change the 4 to 6, not to confuse people. And the other thing that they wanted was that all buildings must meet the number required prior to their date of occupancy for new construction. And then the other thing that they wanted was, some enforcement. I know we said that the building inspector would be the enforcement officer, but they wanted it specified that it was non-criminal ticketing, which we didn't have. So those were their recommended changes.
Mm-hmm. And is that also the building commissioner's comments or just the zoning board?
Well, this had all been gone over with the building inspector. I know we have a new building inspector, so I'll run this by him before we go the next step.
Okay.
But this is it. I hope that, what we put in section 9 in the interest of public safety, owners of existing, because this really, all of these new things, for the most part, only apply to new homes. And we're hoping over time that existing owners will catch up. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, do we have places where there's neither a number on a house or a mailbox?
I would imagine so.
I would think even if it wasn't on the house, I would think it would have to be on the mailbox. No?
Yeah.
I guess if you don't have if you don't have a mailbox and you have a post office box, I guess you wouldn't. Yeah. Okay. I answered my own question. Never mind.
But nonetheless,
they should have them.
houses need to have numbers, but we're not doing this retroactively.
Yeah. Right.
We're just, again, hoping, and I'm just wondering if somehow we should take what number 9 says and move that up in the document to say, while the following applies to new construction, so on and so forth, existing homeowners are encouraged to, the way we said in number 9, because it kind of gets lost back there.
Yeah. There's one, I'm trying to think of, so zoning board did this, planning board doesn't need to take a look at that too? Because
I went to planning and they said it's not our thing. It's the only zoning. I did go to planning.
Okay, so they don't, when they approve a new construction, I thought they're the ones that gave out the number of the plot of the road or whatever.
They do. But this is about displaying it.
Okay.
So no, that's why I went to them in the first place, and they said this is not our thing.
Yeah, because I know there was an issue recently where somebody was building kind of on a corner of 2 roads, and all the early documents had been under one street address, and now the real street address is the other road.
Oh goodness!
And so between planning board and whom, I'm not sure, but it was confused. Oh, I know. I think it probably came up at Concom because there was a wetlands issue. So Concom had one number on one road, and then, plan had a different number. So it was the same property, but it was just because it was at the corner of two roads. Anyway, if that doesn't apply here, then I think I would say probably we still need to just get the new inspector's okay on it, but looks pretty
Okay.
simple.
Yeah, because he's new. So, all right,
But I think that's a relatively simple one.
yeah. So I appreciated their changes.
Yeah.
They all made a lot of sense if they make sense to you.
Yeah, I think I would agree, though. Sorry, I interrupted your thought process on that last point. I think it would make sense to bring that up from the bottom up to the
Yeah.
top and just say that this is, while this applies to new construction,
Yeah,
we would hope that residents would comply over time or something.
yes.
I'm reading the first part, and I think it says every building. It doesn't say anything about just new construction.
Yeah, that's true.
Right in the first part.
Yeah,
We might put in that this does apply to existing houses and buildings.
that it does what? I'm sorry, applies to existing?
Yeah, the way it's written.
Yeah, some sections of it does when it's a distance from the road.
Oh, yeah, but I mean,
I'm sorry.
it says right at the beginning, every building, including but not limited to single and multiple family dwellings, apartment buildings, shall have a fixed.
Right, but the enforcement part of it, they're not, I don't think it's going to be retroactive. It only applies to new.
Well,
That might be a question for the building commissioner. If he's going to be the enforcer, what's he able to do?
Yeah, because what I wrote is new construction and or renovations that require building permits.
mm-hmm. Well, there, but at the beginning. But I know when I was here, when the numbering was done, that long ago,
Yeah,
and we were told you needed to put them on. That's
Okay.
when the whole town was numbered for the first time.
okay. All right, so I'll move that sentence up. I'll do some language there, move that up, get it to the building inspector and see what he feels about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else on this one?
No, don't see anything.
All right, good. So I'm gonna stop sharing this one. Now I have to bring up another.
Open the other doc. It's not open, or is it open?
It's not
So you
here.
have to open.
It's not here.
Click that one.
So you can go to your email or wherever, Francine. You can open it and then just minimize it. You won't lose us.
No, so click on, but if it's not there, then you have to go to Word. So,
Yes.
okay, so click on one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't you have one that's like file recent or something?
Yeah. It's this one.
Then, okay, so open that up.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll see if it's in your share picture, because you may have to, are you done with some of the other ones?
It is there now.
It's there now, but are you done with like this soliciting? You can close that or not?
No.
Okay, are you done with this one? No? That's a nuisance?
I'm done with this one.
Okay, so close that one, just to be on the safe side. Okay, now go down to Zoom here, hit the Zoom thingy. Go back to Virginia. Okay, now
Okay.
do your share. So,
Okay, I'll pick it up now.
Is it there?
Should be.
what do you look for, soliciting?
No, nuisance. There we go. Thank you. There we go.
You get my bill.
All right, the other one that's taken so long to produce is the nuisance, and that was with the Board of Health. And so I did go to their meeting in believe it was after our last meeting in October or November. And they basically agreed, and the good news was that night the police chief also happened to be there, because it's a cross between police and Board of Health. So he was there, and they accepted everything that we said, except at the very bottom, when we talk about enforcement, Chief Illingsworth suggested again that we put in the specifics that it was subject to non-criminal ticketing.
Okay.
And that was able to be issued by the police, fire, board of health, what it says in the paragraph right above that. And that was their only correction.
Really? Wow.
Okay.
So all of our things about decibels and whatever went away, right?
Right. and we explained to them, the reason it's called nuisance instead of noise is for that very reason. And he backed me up on that. I'm glad he was there.
Great.
So this one is essentially, if you're in agreement with this last change down here in the language that I added, this should be it on the nuisance.
Okay.
Sounds good.
It does to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
All
spent
right.
a lot of time on that.
Pardon?
I said, we spent a lot of time
Oh,
on
I know, and back and forth. So, and again, so I'm going to add to the list building numbers. Well, this is for town meeting.
Well, this is for select board first.
Yeah, select board and then town meeting. So we'll put building numbers and nuisance.
So maybe we can get them on the next select board agenda.
Right. Okay. So there we go. We're good on this?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I'll close that one out.
Just as an aside, it sounds like the non-criminal ticketing is one that we ought to be looking at next.
The schedule, yes, the select board should be looking at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was also a bylaw on it, right? There's also a bylaw.
Yes.
Yeah. That probably needs revising too. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So here's the issue of, that's come up recently.
Can you make it a little bigger?
Oh, sure. How's that?
That's,
Better?
yeah, that's okay for me, but then I've got
Yeah,
a copy of it.
That's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, Chris, this is, scan this in. This is from the material that Chief Illingsworth had given us
Yes.
way back. And I went through it. I'm sure Chris probably also took a look at it. And the things that I put in bold were what I had questions about. Confirming that we're referencing, let's start at the beginning. If you want to go through this
Well, let's go through
paragraph by paragraph.
or go through the bold ones anyway. I don't know, but yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you've had a chance to read it beforehand.
Skimmed it quickly.
Okay.
I copied it off and I read it. And
Okay. So, as I said, as we come across bold were places where I had questions, but you may have questions about some of the information that's in here that we have to resolve, and then we can move on. And
Now, did this come from another town, Francine, or?
it came from, yes, it did come from another town, from a lawyer who used it in another town. My concern is this letter was from 2003. So we're looking back 18 years. That's why I'm concerned about the references and so forth.
Yeah.
It didn't say exactly what town because they blanked it out. but it was the result of I believe, some litigation at some point in time. And it's sort of, what's happened is we've had a request for commercial solicitation in town, and we don't have a bylaw on record, although I think the town has a history of a practice of people registering with the police and so forth to go door to door, but in no place is it written. And so us having this is what we need to have.
Yeah.
Well, I have just one comment to begin with. Language needs to be updated. It's clear it's from before.
I'm sorry, Virginia, I'm having a hard time hearing you. What has to be updated?
It has to be language updated.
Okay.
It's got Board of Selectmen.
Oh, yes, yes.
And it's got the long he, she, instead of using the them that they're using now. All encompassing. I have a little trouble with it, but I see it all the time. And that would be my first thing. That when we, that doesn't have to be a discussion today, but when we clean it up and get it ready to go, aware of putting it in language today and not 30 or 40 years ago. My first comment was that if I wanted to solicit in town and I was given this document, I'd say it's not worth it going through it. I should go to another town.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's not fair is something to take care of scouts, school groups, and things like that.
I thought that was in here.
I didn't find much on it.
Well, why don't you scroll down and we'll.
I thought I looked at it pretty carefully. I think there is something about it was all but for profit. It wasn't, it wasn't, well, it'd be good profit, but not.
Let me get that. I swore there was something in here about religious and
yes,
school and political solicitation was exempt from this. But maybe it was in because I looked at something. I looked at other bylaws of other towns, and that may be where, and I'm getting confused with it, which is.
I read this morning.
Okay, then if it's not here, then it was something that I found elsewhere and thought it's a good idea.
I might have skipped over it too, but having purchased a lot of popcorn and cookies.
Yeah. I mean, we can put a section in here for exceptions.
Can you do a word search at all, Francine?
There is some exceptions, but I didn't think it covered.
No, we didn't put it. I mean, there are no exceptions in here, but in our version.
It has.
So books and magazines and periodicals are there, but so, okay.
I don't know. It must have been that I saw it somewhere else and thought it was in here because I started to go through. All right. So I'll look for exceptions and pick up school. They didn't give a blanket to nonprofit organizations. but they did say school and religion and political.
Well, I remember the religion, I think. But I
Is
don't-
that in there? Yeah, I scroll down a little bit more, Francine. I don't remember. So you got no, that's charitable. No, that's not it. Okay.
No, that isn't it. No, I don't see it in here. So, yeah, this is a lot. It's a disincentive to anyone. And if you think that it's too stringent, then in terms of, the last 3 years of places you use Canvas and all of that other stuff seems to be a little bit burdensome.
Yep. And I think, keep on going. There was something I saw there about the police and, keep going a little bit. There we are. 154.
Yeah, the police shall refuse to register.
Yeah, I mean, so are the police going to run a background check on everybody that comes to solicit? I mean, I'm thinking that this is so outdated.
Okay.
That I wonder if we're working from a wrong version, and I'm wondering if. And I hadn't had a chance to look, but in that magical online program that Lucy has been talking about, the East 360.
Yeah.
If we can't just search in that and find an updated solicitation from some town somewhere in Massachusetts, because I'm afraid that this is really old language. I don't know, but I can't imagine like under 154. I mean, it really implies that the police chief has got to do a background check on everybody, and I don't know that that's really the intent.
No. Do you remember the name of the town whose book we had, the E360? Because I do look, and a lot of the websites, the information on the websites and the presentation look very similar. So I'm thinking they're all E360s. But I'm trying to remember which one it was. Was it Dartmouth? Yeah. I think it might have been Dartmouth. I think.
Okay, I don't remember.
All right, so I'll go there and look there for those, because there's no sense in us writing all of this from scratch.
Yeah. I mean, it may be that, there's less to correct. This just feels like it's, on the outermost part of their clothing and all this other stuff in there that just seems like really outdated language.
Okay.
There are exceptions. Number 6.
Number 6?
There's exceptions, but it does read
Yes.
speak to minors under the age of 18.
Yeah.
That's in connection.
Yeah. There aren't newspaper. Yeah, I see.
And then if you're an officer or employee of the town, county, state, or federal, and you're on official business, you can go and solicit for what, I don't know.
Yeah.
And
All right.
just one.
How much more is there, Francine? Keep on scrolling. It's another couple pages, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so.
That's
Restrictions on methods.
how to appeal if you don't get your okay.
Yeah.
This is just too long.
Okay. All right. Then we will, I'm going to keep this on the side.
Yeah.
And I will go to, I wanted to be sure, and I was trying to remember the one that we had, and now I recalled it was Dartmouth, because as I said, I started looking at other towns, and some of them where all of their bylaw sections looked exactly the same. I'm assuming it, but I wanted to be sure it was an E360 that I was copying from.
Yeah. And I don't know if you can go in like on E360 Massachusetts solicitation and search that way rather than by town. And it should put up any town that has a bylaw on solicitation, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know if they would give that away, but I'll try that. So is that,
Yeah, I think it would be better to double check it first before we spend time working with this one, honestly.
oh yeah, okay. All right, well then this is old stuff. For sure, okay.
I mean, there may be parts of it we can use, but it may be,
Yeah,
you know, I don't know. It just seems very burdensome. I agree with Virginia. For somebody who wanted to solicit, it was like, why would I bother to do this? Yeah.
Yeah,
and one thing it doesn't really say is when people are running for office, what they have to do
right, yes,
when they want to go door to door.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. There must be something.
okay, all right. So this is the next one that we will work on and what I'll try to do in the interim. And if you guys also want to look and identify towns where you think their bylaw on soliciting is good, we should start,
Yeah.
collecting those and then coming together. And I think not wait, obviously, a long time. Let's schedule our next meeting so that we could get started on that and carry that forward.
Sure.
I had fun kind of looking at the different towns.
Good.
There are a couple of towns that really need to work on theirs.
Yeah. Well, March 2nd is a little bit away. Would that give us enough time? That's a Tuesday.
Let me take a look.
I don't think it's a select board meeting, or a Thursday if we wanted to do Thursday.
Yeah, can we pick a Wednesday or a Thursday?
Yeah, probably. Wednesdays are my more open days. Thursdays can get complicated too for me.
Okay. Virginia, would a Wednesday, March 3rd work for you?
Oh, that should be a community preservation meeting from 5:30 on.
Okay.
And
But could you do something earlier?
yeah, I usually get a little squirrely about that.
Okay. So then you want to do then
The next week, wait,
The 10th?
March 10th?
I've got to keep things open. I'll have to tell you what's going on with me right now. I have a problem with a back, and I was supposed to be having appointments to take care of it. And it's not horrible, but it's not good. Pinched nerve. And my son calls Sunday morning as I'm getting ready to go to church and says, I don't think you should go to church. They were over here during the week. Of course, he pops in, I've been popping in all the time. He has COVID.
Oh my.
Yeah. And so I had to cancel all sorts of stuff and rearrange.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
not only that, I was supposed to be getting my first vaccination shot
Yeah.
this week. That's off the boards now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fit all of these things in.
Uh-huh.
So I would say, I'd like to avoid Tuesdays. Of course, Tuesdays you have
Okay.
and that Wednesday, the first Wednesday of the month, and we eat later in the day. But name a day, and if I can get back on track, I'm going to get tested Friday. That was the first they wanted me to come in and do this. At least I don't have to go and get in line someplace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't we aim for the 10th? Do you want it later in the afternoon, though, Virginia? Is that better? Or
That's what day of the week?
that's a Wednesday. the
Wednesday.
10th.
You know, that was already blocked on my calendar.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm going to have to reschedule the vaccination. At least I'm with a medical center that is taking care of that for me.
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
Chris, I know you said Wednesdays were better.
I mean, Thursday could be an option. We do this Thursday.
I'd say go ahead and pick something that works for you two. And if I can.
Do you want to try Thursday the 4th? Or do you want to do the February 25th?
Well, no, you two
Chris?
work with, because you've got all those other meetings too. And I'll put it down, and if it works, okay, and if not, I'll let you know.
Okay.
All right. I mean, if we want to keep the momentum going, I mean, I could do the 25th if you want to.
Okay.
Sure. We could aim for that. And if, as a fallback, it could be the following week, the 4th, if we had to. But
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
let's aim for the 25th and like I say, we get rolling again, especially if we get some positive feedback out of select board to say, okay, let's get the AG reviewing some of these. We've got 2 more on deck for select board to look at, so maybe, because our next select board meeting would be the 23rd.
Right.
So we would know, if we had, for example, buildings and nuisance for them to review for that meeting, we'd have their reaction by the time, we met.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right. So we'll target building, and I'll get this to the building inspector. We're good on the nuisance.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're good there. So what time on the 25th then, Chris?
This is okay for me. This, whatever, 1 o'clock is all right, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll plug that in. And if we have to change it, we'll change it.
Sure.
I'll, like I said, I'll put it down. I'll try to avoid it. But I've got all this makeup stuff to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Understood. Yeah, that's okay.
Well, I hope everything works out for you. I had a similar experience, Virginia, where I was exposed, and it was very remote that it would be, I was positive, but the person who I was exposed to was positive. But I was fine. We went for a test 7 days after, and it came back negative.
Well, that we're going to go on Friday and see what others were okay, but the doctor really said wait till Friday, because it may not.
Yeah, you need to go a number of days after you were potentially exposed. Yeah.
And then we're going to have to work backwards, and if that is negative, and do all this other stuff.
Okay. All right.
Good.
Well,
So
good
shall
luck.
we adjourn for today?
Yes, we can. So
Okay.
it is, I need a motion.
Well, I'll move to adjourn.
I'll
And
second.
a second, there we go. It is 1:59.
Okay.
Good.
Sounds
Okay, so we kept it under an hour.
Well,
So thank you, and we'll be back together on February 25th.
Okay. Sounds
All
good.
right, great.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for being patient with my Zoom skills.
Glad it worked.